Do you feel that the characteristics of what do you feel are the characteristics of your generation, like yours?
Back in the day
Back
or
in
now?
the day. Not now, back in the day.
I think we were kind of rebellious, maybe a little bit like kind of an angry crowd. Like we're gonna rock this town. A lot about partying, kind of looking out for number one. I think a lot of my generation focused on appearances. Like if you had money, you evidenced that by wearing certain clothes or a certain style of clothing. So I think a little bit more self-centered, and I'm not proud of that, but that's just kind of the way it was in the 80s and the early 90s.
Okay. Then how do you perceive our generation, like my generation?
I think as a generation, you are very environmentally conscious. I see your generation as being very green, so to speak, in the way that you approach the world. A lot more of service, like how can you guys serve your world? Like you're not, it doesn't seem to me that it's all about becoming a commercial success, but more a success as a human. That's just, I don't know if that's just a reflection of the music that I see as being popular today, or if it's the way the class discussions are, but I don't see it focusing as much on materialism. That could maybe be a reflection of the economy. I think a lot more like what kind of causes can you guys rally around for humanity? Whereas when I was in high school, it was like, where can I get my next pair of blue jeans? You know.
Okay. Then what were some fads back in the day?
Let's see. Tight rolling your jeans, which I could demonstrate for you sometime. Or Mr. Crone could. He's good at that too. Fads. What else? Popped collars.
Okay.
Forking people's lawns was a big thing.
Forking.
Plastic forks, like on a teacher's lawn, like in the middle of the night, just a bunch of kids would get together and put 900 plastic forks in a teacher's lawn. That was a big thing in Sioux Center growing up. Other fads. Stacked. Are these? Does it have to be fashion? Can it be more than fashion?
No.
Okay. Fads. What else? Video games were huge. It was like the birth of the video generation. Tetris was a huge fad. I was the high score at the bowling alley for 5 weeks.
Oh, 5 whole weeks.
Without unplugging it.
Oh, okay. Like, what are some historical events that happened during your generation, or like that influenced you in a way, or like was really that stuck out to you that you remember?
The sad thing is, I don't remember a lot of big events happening when I was in high school because I think we were so self-centered. Like we would focus on the here and the now. We didn't really focus on what was happening in the rest of the world. I know back in like the late 80s, early 90s, President Bush, the first, was running for office. I remember that being a pretty big event. I know the Olympics were held somewhere. Let's see. Ronald Reagan was in office, but then he left. I honestly, looking back, I would have to look at the news to find out what was really important. I know computers started to become available. My senior year, we had 12 computers in the high school, the whole high school 12, and it was a big deal to go to the computer lab. So that's not national news, but I think it was maybe a reflection of what was happening nationally, that technology was starting to become more available.
Okay. Then pop culture, which is like TV, movies, and
That I know. See, that
songs.
I remember. Let's see, songs. Like Poison was really big. AC/DC, Rat, Cinderella. Are you getting all this? Because you might want to iTunes these later.
Oh, I know.
Metallica was very big. In Excess was when they first got going, so that was all good music. Hair bands, Poison, Guns N' Roses, that kind of thing. Movies, like Cocktail, Tom Cruise was a huge movie star. Julia Roberts was a big movie star. Pretty Woman, I remember when that came out. Other pop culture things. I don't really remember books from when I was in high school. I wasn't really that big of a reader. I remember reading To Kill a Mockingbird and I was like, so this is what a book is like. Because it wasn't focused on that much in my high school. Other pop culture things.
TV show?
TV shows. Dallas was big when I was in high school.
They're remaking that actually.
I know, I'm super excited. What else? Cosby Show was a hit. Friends. No, that might be a little bit early. A little early. Oh, 30-something.
30-something?
30-something was my favorite show. Cheers. Never missed a Cheers. Saturday Night Live, of course, was always something the kids watched and talked about. So that gives you, see, national news. Pop culture? Yes,
Yeah,
let's
there we
talk
go.
about it.
Then what are some sayings that you heard
Used
or used?
or used, okay.
Used.
Probably one of the most notable ones that I remember was face.
Face.
But you had to say it like face, and you had to do it with hand motion. Face, like in your face.
Okay.
Yeah. Booyah, which has made a comeback. It has made a comeback. Okay, bye was another one that we used at Sioux Center. Like if you didn't like something that was going on in a conversation, you'd say, okay, bye. What else? Let me just peek at my book
That's fine.
my book here, which I should have marked. So how many people do you have to interview?
We're interviewing you and Mr. Niemeyer tomorrow morning.
Oh, that'll be fun. That'll be fun. Break the law, yeah. Racy in Sioux Center. Oh, I forgot about trends, like brand names that were popular,
Mm-hmm.
like Guess, Pepe, Benetton. Those were some brands that you had to have, and if you didn't have them, then you were like a poor kid, and people kind of looked down on you. So, other phrases, I think that's those are some of my most memorable phrases. Or norm. Like if you came into the
Norm.
lunchroom and your friends all saw you, they'd be like, Norm! From Cheers. So.
Okay. All right. I believe that's all the questions we have for you today. Thanks.